Hello and welcome to Woke Watch. There's a story in the news at the moment which is truly wonderful because it tells of a growing backlash against the inane idiocy that is wokeness. Now, we all know that businesses operate in order to make money, but what if your business is money? The Halifax Bank, formerly the Halifax Building Society, from right here in the UK. And before I continue with this story, I think it's worth remembering that back in 2008, when the banks from around the world fucked the global economy, millions of people lost their houses, their jobs, but the bankers didn't go under. Halifax was propped up by the British taxpayer to the tune of £30 billion. So the bankers didn't lose their jobs. Millions of others did, but the bankers got to keep their jobs and keep paying themselves extortionate bonuses. Now the Halifax has launched a PR campaign that's blown up in their face. On Twitter, Halifax posted the headline, "Pronouns Matter," which of course they don't. The only people obsessed with pronouns are these overly sensitive, lightly retarded woke fucknuggets who are terrified that someone may misgender them despite them only having made up that gender 5 fucking minutes ago. So, pronouns matter, and they then posted a photo of a name badge with the pronouns she, her and hers, because Halifax staff will now have to show their preferred pronouns. But the daft thing is, the name on the badge was Gemma. That's a female name. Even if it's a bloke playing dress up, that's someone who wants to be referred to as female. It's not ambiguous like Francis, which could be male or female. So some of Halifax's customers took to Twitter to criticise the blatant virtue signalling. Then one of Halifax's social media team, someone referred to as Andy M. Now, I'm assuming that Andy is a man, but I don't have his, her or they, them's pronouns. But Andy replied to some of these customers saying, "If you don't agree with our values, you're welcome to close your account." Now, I would have paid good money to be at the meeting where he was explaining that to the shareholders and directors, saying, "Yeah, I said you're welcome to close your account," for one of the directors to look at him and say, "You did fucking what?" You see, it transpires that when a company takes an imagined moral high ground and starts getting shitty with loyal customers, telling them they're welcome to close their accounts, what happens is thousands of them close their accounts. Not just bank accounts, mortgages, insurance, their whole range of services. One of the first guys to tweet Halifax when they came up with this pronoun crap has announced since that he's withdrawn £450,000 of savings. Now that's a lot of money. Not a lot when you're used to being given $30 billion from the taxpayer. But I think it shows we've had enough. Wokeness has got to stop because nothing is ever enough. If you cave in on pronouns, the fuckers will just find something else to cry about. There's a phrase, get woke, go broke. And that's what's happening to the Halifax. Now, they're not going under because they're a bank, they're not allowed to fail. But thousands are being wiped off their share price. And we see this everywhere where wokery takes a foothold. Netflix is losing billions. And despite it making some very good shows, I would say the majority of programmes on Netflix, within 5 minutes you realise they've spent more effort ticking every fucking diversity box than writing the show. So I just turn off. And why would anyone need to know the preferred pronouns of someone working in a bank? When has the sex of the person behind the counter ever made any difference? Because I know if I went into my bank, went up to one of the women serving and said, "I'm just checking, do you have a vagina?" that would come across as somewhat creepy. And let's not forget, there's an economic crisis or war going on in Europe, but this is what Halifax is worried about. And to be blunt, if I met someone in a bank who felt the need to share their pronouns with me, I wouldn't want them dealing with my fucking finances because clearly they're not all there. But the positive point of this story is it sounds like some people at least have got to the end of their tether. They've had enough of wokeness. They're saying, take your pronouns, your gender neutral bathrooms and your weird sense of white guilt and fuck it off. And hopefully this is the beginning of the end. As ever, thanks for watching.